Hi, I'm Michael McCarthy. I'm the Director of About Learning, and we're pleased to do this overview of this format Leading with Learning training that we're doing in collaboration with Leaders Development Center. We're going to be working with you for 4 days to introduce you to the format model, and Dr. McCarthy will be facilitating the training session, who's the creator of this dynamic model for learning. So I'm so pleased to introduce you to Dr. McCarthy, who's going to walk you through to give you a better sense of what we're going to be covering with you. Thank you so much.
What we'll be doing basically is helping you figure out a lot of things about yourself. I believe totally and completely that the great leaders are people who know themselves the best, and all of the research seems to corroborate that. So day one, when you begin on day one, what you'll be doing is you'll be finding first your favorite learning style. You'll be looking at some of the CCL work. You'll be looking at work from General Motors and Nike and how they use the different learning style types to attract people in their marketing. And then I'll show you the reports from people concerning how painful learning is depending on your learning style. Then we'll go right in the early afternoon to having you really take a look at how you supervise with style, so you understand styles and your own, and you know how to begin dealing with the differences, especially in team forming. We'll then move on through the middle of the afternoon with a reflection on the gifts of each of these favorite styles, and there'll be an essential question that I will pose for you in the morning of that day, and then there'll be a visual exercise at the end and a closing, and that will be day one. So day one is all about you and how you learn and how the people you work with learn and how you will deal in the future, knowing better the great, wonderful differences in these four major learning styles. In the afternoon of day two, we go right into the cycle. You'll now be looking at what format is, what I really am doing with this, what my work is with this, and how I came to create this cycle. I'll be showing you how to use the cycle to counsel others, and then you will get the lecture to understand the format model and where I was coming from when I put it together. Standing on the shoulders of many wonderful people, absolutely. And then in the afternoon of that day, we'll really get now into you using the cycle. And what I've done is I've chosen from Fast Company, a wonderful leadership magazine and journal here in the U.S., where they publish the most vexing problems for managers and leaders in 2016. And I chose 5 of them that I've listed there, and I'm asking you to use the format cycle with your knowledge of it then to solve one of those 5 problems. You'll be doing that in small groups, and then you'll be sharing those things together and leading. Day 3, we take a really good look at your leadership strengths, and they're based on your style. So these things are going incrementally. You see one on top of the other, like, so to speak. So you'll then take a good look at your leadership strengths. You'll examine the team that you work with. Now, if you don't come with a team, that's fine. We'll put you in a group, and you can be a pretend team, and you'll be looking at what it would be like if those 3 other people who were working with you in that team had different strengths. And how does that work? What's the collective wisdom of that? Then you'll have an experience of change, and it's all about what happens when you find you have to change something that you planned on doing a certain way. It's a wonderful, fun exercise. And then we'll look with a much larger lens at the possibility of the format cycle in an organization and the difference in an organization when a leader is into being and doing, not just doing time with us. And so you'll be looking at some strength in or weakness in your organization, and then you'll be devising a plan for home-based problem solving that I call, this is the way it is now, this is the way it could be. So they'll be planning for that, and then you'll get peer review and help from all of us in terms of sharing and critiquing those plans, and then we'll close with a reflection on living with risk. And now day 4 is all about you doing it. And remember that most of us have much more personal power than we think It's your voice that we're waiting to hear. That's what this is really about, getting you to see your own power and your own voice. In day 4, we begin with a relationship level exercise. Then we'll discuss the work out of Harvard that had to do with Oak skill experiment, the positive and negative cycles of that. You'll be working on a mind map, going over some of the differences between being and doing, and then we move right into the format coaching process. And so the afternoon, I've set up scenarios of 5 different people who might be working for you or someone like you who need work. They're not performing the way they should be. Their attitude isn't what it should be. And so you will sit in groups and you will create coaching scenarios based on them as you go. So you'll have a map, you'll have several maps in front of you, and then we look at your individual plans that you're taking back to work with you, I hope, and we'll critique them, and then we have a closing and a transformational leadership closing ceremony with the awarding of your certificates. And the leader's goal is not merely to explain things or to clarify them, but to create meaning for the people who work for him or her. And that's the end of what we'll be doing in the 4 days.